Cool. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shred's Takes. I'm Mike Shredder. I'm joined by a buddy of mine, who plays basketball over at Hartford, Pierre Sow, brought to
You
Teaneck, New
guys doing?
Jersey. What's up,
Yes,
Pierre?
sir.
How we doing, man?
I'm great. I'm great. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. So let's get started. What have you been up to this summer? How's your summer been going?
So my summer was great. I was playing in a lot of good pro-ams, played a lot of great basketball. I was playing in uh, Isaiah Whitehead's tournament, the first of its inception in Coney Island. I was playing in Hoopsville in Jersey. I played in Zone 6 in New York, so I did a little bit of traveling. And then I also got an internship at a video production company, award-winning video production company that Post Creative. So I was chasing both my passions, playing basketball and doing and following my dreams of becoming a videographer.
That sounds awesome. So the question I want to ask first is what got you invested in basketball? Now, for the viewers to just put in context, Pierre's 7 feet tall, so that might be a reason. But
Yeah.
what was the other reason? Like when you were growing up, you're like, I want to, I want to play basketball and this is something I want to do.
Right. So I was actually a football player my whole life growing up. Played football for like 8 years before I ever touched the basketball. I used to think it was for soft guys. Then my sophomore year of high school, I went from 6'2" to 6'9" in 4 months. And actually, a doctor said I couldn't play football anymore because I would have problems with my bones, right? So I was looking for something else to play. And the basketball coach he's my guidance counselor, he's been hounding me. So I went out there, I played. I didn't really have my aha moment in basketball, I say. So maybe like my senior year, I was just doing it to do it. But like my senior year, when I found out like maybe I could go D1, like there's not a lot of guys that's my height were blocking shots and can move a little bit. Um, I think that's when I started taking it serious and knowing that I could do something with it. So and focusing in.
Talk a little about what made you then want to go and pursue college basketball then, how that kind of worked out for you. Because obviously like you're at Hartford now, but you originally went to Hampton and then I think you went somewhere else before Hartford. I could be wrong there. But just talk a little about just like what made you decide and invest your time, say, I want to be a college basketball player. I want to pursue this further than high school.
Um, so one, I knew I had to go to college. My mom wasn't playing that. I knew I had to go. So I don't know. I just looked up when I started getting into basketball. I looked up to these all these players, and that was like the goal. They're all posting they're blessed to receive this offer and all that. So I wouldn't say I really became a basketball player until I got to college. I was just somebody who played basketball. So I was really just like kind of following the trend of yeah, I want to go D1 because everybody wants to go D1. Like that was my thinking of it. But so then I went to Hampton. I got a call out of nowhere in my senior year. I'm walking through the park. Coach called me, said, "Yeah." My high school coach called me, said, "Yeah, this is a real offer." And high coach called me, said, "Yeah, like, we're gonna offer you a scholarship." They flew me out like that week. Had a crazy visit, one of the craziest times of my life. Committed on the spot there. Went to Hampton for a couple years. Then I transferred to Virginia State for a semester during COVID, and then a buddy of mine was like, "Yo, come on, like you got one more scholarship left. You might as well slide with us." So then I came to Hartford, played my last 2 years. Now I'm back at Hartford doing my grad degree. I'm running all the videos for their social media for their athletics departments. So all athletic videos go through me pretty much. Um, yeah, I don't remember what the original question was.
No, that actually answered everything like that. So what I want to get back to a little bit is like, you played at Teaneck, right? So we played against each other 1 year
Right.
yeah. And I mean, I played against you obviously after that point, but one thing I was going to ask is, talk about Teaneck basketball, because I mean, you played obviously with good guards. You were there for like the whole Jelly fam, movement at Teaneck, but also I mean, again, you just played for a good program. Talk about like just kind of how that helped your basketball career, just playing for Teaneck and, how much that meant to you.
So first things first. First things first. Whenever we talk about teenage basketball, we gotta say RIP Coach Mark. Coach
Yep.
Mark just passed away this year. believe in March. It was a real sad moment for the community. I mean, I remember the last time he called me. I was on my on my porch. You know what I mean? We just wrapped it up for a little bit. But yeah, like a lot of the culture in Teaneck started with him. He was a great coach, great mentor. He had a lot of great players and he knew how to manage them. He knew how to get everybody on the same page. But yeah, Teaneck basketball. I mean, we've been good for years. Like it was like a thing that Teaneck kind of breed basketball as a basketball school. It got to the point where like kids wanted to come play with us. So yeah, I remember the game that we played against each other. I think I had to put back that game if I remember correctly. You were bringing me out to the foul line and blowing right by me though. I remember that. That was rough. But yeah, no, Teaneck basketball. We had a big winning culture there. We ended up being the first team in 47 years to go win the state championship back to back. Yeah, no, we were a great team. We're going to the Hall of Fame whenever our 10 years come up. So I can't wait for that. I think it's gonna be like 2028. So yeah, no, it was definitely a special group of guys, special coach, special moment.
Absolutely. Let's shift into the second passion of yours, which is video production, right? You've been doing a lot of that this summer. What got you into that? Because I mean, obviously, for a lot of people, that's not an easy thing to get into, right? Especially when you're playing basketball, right? That's it's hard to balance two passions. So, talk a little about what's gotten you into video production, and then what you've been doing this summer. I mean, I saw a little bit of your clip with the great Ken Kaluko, but talk a little bit about other things that you've been doing with that, but just the passion of video production itself.
So video production. So I don't know what it was that made me get into like cameras and made me think that I could do it. But I remember the moment that I fell in love with it. So I got a camera and all that, and I went to film my brother's music video. My brother was a rapper at the time, aspiring rapper, and I went to film a music video with him. And like the process of putting that together, even though it was a little tumultuous, like it's something about video making when you get all this footage and you have no idea, like if you think you can pull off the vision that you imagine. Then when you start putting it together and it starts coming together the way that you envision, like it's like a high. Like there's no better, in my opinion, there's no better feeling. Like it's I don't know, it's like the same as scoring a basket in basketball for me. Like when you make something and it comes out just as you planned or it comes out even better, like and you were in a moment where you didn't know if you could do it and then you figured it out, like that's just a great, it's a feeling, it's a triumphant feeling, and I get it every time I make a video. That's why I love making videos. So I just made a video actually for, I don't know, are you into baseball by any chance?
Not really, but like, I mean, I'm aware of what baseball highlights, like some of them, but yeah, yeah.
So there's a baseball team called the Savannah Bananas. They're basically like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. Like they play, like they travel and tour and do a bunch of silly stuff. One of their like the face of their team actually went to my college at Hartford, and I got a chance to interview him and made a video for him after the interview. It was the first video that I've ever put on my new channel or on my new Instagram because my last one got hacked. So this is my brand new one. It's already got over 25,000 views on Instagram
Wow.
because the guy's got 300,000 on Instagram. He got 1 million followers on TikTok. Like the team page got 1 million followers. So yeah, no, that was a great first project, and hopefully one day you'll get to watch it, Mike.
Yeah. No, I mean, one thing I also want to go into is like, again, with that, did you think any of the highlights like you saw when you were in high school at all, like, and they kind of drove you down that path too? Just because, when you're playing in high school, you always, I mean, look, Teaneck, I know for a fact because I played against you guys, there's cameras everywhere, like putting highlights on, things like NJ Hoop Recruit and Jersey Sports Zone. And, overtime and all these things? Like, did that at least like inspire it a little bit, or was it just something again that, like you kind of talked about, was it just like more of just you wanted to kind of create your own thing and this just was kind of the way to do it?
So you're actually right now that I think about it. Like that, they definitely did have an influence on me. I even actually remember like remixing one of my teammates' videos for NJ Sports Scene, send it back to him. The guy liked it so much, he almost offered me an internship. But um, really, that actually all happened after the music video. The music video event happened, so that made me help me get more into it. But like, nah, that starting that music video, I believe I was a sophomore in high school. So it was one like sophomore year is when I found both my love basketball video making. I think I was a sophomore in high school when I started making that, and yeah, maybe even a little younger than that.
Gotcha. Is this something that you would see as like a future endeavor for you? Obviously, you want to continue hooping as hopefully as long as possible, but would this be something also that you want to continue for the future? And as you progress after college and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, so like as anybody knows, like Father Time, like is unstoppable. Like your ball is gonna stop bouncing eventually. So I want to do something that would be just as fulfilling. The only thing in my life that I found that was just as fulfilling was video making. So I wanted to start my own company. So I'm going to try to. So my career path, hopefully, is that I'm going to use the experience and the master's degree that I get from working the job that I'm working now. I'm going to get that. Then I'm going to get a decent paying job somewhere in the media business, like hopefully at like a TNT or a Disney or an ESPN or something like that. Then I'm gonna save some money and then leave and start my own company.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's my goal. At some point, I'm gonna save some bread up and full send it, start my own thing. Use all the knowledge that I've learned from over the years to make sure I do it right. And then hopefully that builds into something that I can have run itself, and then I can go do whatever I want and start my own, start other things. And but yeah, definitely want to stay in video. All that, of course, too, while I'm hopefully volunteering in basketball. Who knows? Maybe basketball. I'll get into coaching. Who knows what can happen?
Yeah, because the one thing I remember about, at least when I was hooping with you a lot last year is like, you were talking about how you also enjoyed kind of training and coaching people as well. Like, I guess from that, like, where did that kind of passion for that, like understanding the game and like understanding how things can be, adjustments can be made from like your end as a player and that stuff. Like, did that just come from playing college basketball and kind of reading the game differently and that kind of stuff? And because, in college, the game's quicker, you have different scouting reports, like you have more, I guess, more complicated in offense than just throw it out to the best players in your team and, go see what happens. Right. So did I come from that too, in a sense, like, eventually maybe trying to volunteer and something like that came from just your ability to understand the game at a higher level in college and being like, hey, look, I can apply this and help people try to, come up in the ranks in basketball, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So I think what you said in the beginning was important. So what you said in the beginning was in college, it's not necessarily that you just roll the basketball out and like give it to your best players and hope that you win. That's actually not the case at everywhere, right? So as you know, in high school that was the case for us because we had great players. So you just gave them the ball, we ran a little actions. When I got to college for my first 3 years of college, it was the same exact thing. So our coach didn't coach. Den's one of the best players to ever step foot in this state of like he's an amazing point guard. They would just give him the ball and run pick and rolls and tell him like make it work, right? But we won games like that. So that's why I never understood why that was like not necessarily the best thing to do. So then when I ended up coming to Hartford and I got around a coach that really ran a system, I started to understand our coach here had a name for everything. Like for example, if you wanted to call that you were open in the corner, it was Mexico. So if I was dribbling the ball, eyes closed, and someone saying Mexico, I know where to throw the ball just because I know what the sound means.
Mhm.
Uh, all the little nuances, all the plays he was running, everything that he was coming, like how he was explaining things and they would come to fruition. I like it was like a mind boggling to me to see that somebody like could do that. And then when I realized that when I put a little thought to it, I could do it myself. It made me fall in love with it. Like
Right.
because one of my core moments in basketball was when I was sitting out this year, just last year. I was sitting out and I explained to the second group something of how to beat the 1-3-1 zone that right. I explained it so simply to the point where like I feel like you know what I mean. A kindergartner could have got it. And when I watched them execute it to perfection, it gave me like a high. So
Right.
I was like, if I can continue to do this, like that's something I want to do too. Hopefully, there's a way that I can merge the two of the passions together one day, but
Yeah.
who knows? I definitely want to try to get financially stable with the video thing and then pursue basketball.
Yeah, got you. No, I mean, I definitely remember like we were hooping last summer and we were like talking about I think it was we were talking about how the Suns couldn't beat the Mavericks, and we are talking about how like Devin Booker struggled to throw it to the opposite corner, and so
Right.
the Mavericks would just continue to like help on that because they're like he's not going to throw it into that corner because that guy is just wide open for a reason because the Mavericks know that that's not the way he plays. I just remember like I mean, I did a little coaching this summer. I helped out Ridgewood too, and it came from a lot of just the experiences I went through too. Like I was injured a bunch this year, didn't get to play a whole lot, and so had to do that same kind of thing. I'd be like, okay, let me figure out ways that I can execute an offense against a team that's maybe superiorly more talented than us or whatever. Not knowing that we're going to win, but putting the sense like trying to put your players in the best position. I think that's just a unique thing. I just think unless you really play the game, it's kind of hard to understand those different nuances. I feel like I don't know if
Right.
you agree with that.
No, I agree totally.
Yeah. Well, I was going to it this way. So I guess what's the so the plan next year? What are you studying graduate wise at Hartford, and then obviously what's kind of the what's the like the next couple months looking like for you?
So I'm building on my grad degree, on my bachelor's degree, digital media and journalism. So I'm building on that with whatever cool name degree they want to call the communications master. I also want to get like a little maybe a minor in sports psychology. Then the next couple of months, I'm just really working hard, creating videos, creating a bunch of original content for Hartford Athletics. And yeah, like pretty much that's it. Just working a day job, just trying to build a nice portfolio of great videos that hopefully Hartford Athletics can use.
Absolutely. Well, Pierre, I want to thank you a lot for coming on the podcast today. Always good to chop up some hoops and also hear more about your video stuff. So, because I mean, I remember I was looking at Kent's Instagram and he posts the same clip from the media stuff every time. It's about like inspiring hoopers or whatever. I mean,
Right.
Kent's the best, but it was like the that stuff. So it's good to see you doing that, and it's cool to talk shop about that a little bit. So, wish you the best of luck with everything, and anytime you ever want to come back on, you're always welcome.
Mike, thank you so much, bro. Always great to talk to you, my guy.
Absolutely. All right, Pierre. Have a good one.
Sure.